What's up, everybody? On today's show, we're talking all things Tennessee Volunteers with new wide receiver Chris Brazzell. We'll find out how spring ball is going and how explosive this Vols offense can be. Locked On SEC starts right now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome to Locked On SEC. It's great to have you guys along. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Shout out to everydayers. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. We've been having a couple different guys from some SEC schools joining us along the way. We had Talon Green from Arkansas on just about a week ago. And now we head out to Knoxville, where we catch up with Chris Brazzell, who started his career at Tulane, spent the last 2 years there, and now he's heading over to Knoxville to go join the Tennessee Volunteers and put on that white and orange. You like the white and orange so far, Chris?
I do.
Well, let's start there, man. How are you enjoying Knoxville so far? You've been there a little bit, but you getting adjusted to everything over there?
Yeah, I like it. I like the country. I like the city. I like it.
Nice. Well, let's jump into it, man, because you were at Tulane these last couple of years. You're a Texas kid from the Midland area, and obviously very productive last year. You really started to come on strong and, had a nice season. So talk a little about the decision when the season ends to, okay, I might want to hit the transfer portal, go somewhere else. And how did you end up on Tennessee?
Well, my coaches ended up leaving. Coach Fritz and most of that coaching staff from Tulane ended up going to Houston. So once that happened, it was really a toss-up if I wanted to stay and be at Tulane, and that was going to be the unknown, or transfer someone else on a bigger platform and let that be the unknown. So ended up hitting the portal. Coach Pope came to see me. He talked to me about the offense. I loved everything he said. Air raid offense. Nico at the quarterback. Coach Hype being Coach Hype. I mean, it was an easy decision for me.
Let's talk a little bit about that first year. You kind of redshirted at Tulane. What was that like? Was that a learning year for you? Kind of just learning to adjust to that next level and play at the college level. And what did you learn that first year at Tulane that really kind of helped you last year when you started to hit the field more?
Well, I actually got hurt second game versus Alcorn and broke my wrist, so I had the red shirt. But I mean, they went to the Cotton Bowl that year. I don't think we lost. I think we lost one game, if that. Yeah, we lost one game. So just being able to watch guys like Deuce Watts, who's in the league right now, Shea Wyatt, Dede McDougal, and just sit back and watch from my first year and then watch greatness happen and win a lot of games was special.
And you guys go on to beat USC in the Cotton Bowl. Caleb Williams, who's about to, probably be the number one pick in the NFL draft. So just you have to be so proud of what you guys were able to accomplish there in your time at Tulane and what Coach Fritz did. Because years ago, I mean, I'm from New Orleans originally, and Tulane's had some years here and there, but you guys really were a part of a fantastic run there with the Green Wave.
Yeah, we were.
But talk a little bit about that this last season, because you had a couple games where you really went off, but man, the end of the year in those games against FAU and UTSA, when you really had to have them when you were trying to win the AAC, man, you went off. What was clicking those last couple games there for you?
You said FAU and UTSA?
Just those games towards the end of the year where you had those big monster games,
FAU, I was actually committed there coming out of high school, so that was a game I was ready for the whole year. So being able to play at FAU, I mean, I was blessed to do what I did. UTSA, that was a game that we had to win. We would have lost that game. They would have got to the conference championship, and we would have been sitting out. So it was go hard or go home that game, and luckily I was able to come through.
Talk a little bit about, again, just a little bit of your time at Tulane with Coach Fritz, because obviously, he's such a great offensive mind. And did I have this right? He actually coached your dad at Blinn College back in the day?
He did coach my dad back in the day.
Kind of cool. I mean, you have to feel a little bit special playing for a guy that, hey, my dad played for him, so I know he's going to want to get me the ball.
Yeah, in fact, yes, sir. So, yeah, that was an easy choice also coming out of high school, going to play for Coach Fritz.
And you mentioned him leaving. Obviously, he's going over to Houston now in the Big 12. But another part of it, too, you're losing the quarterback. Michael Pratt, I saw down at the Senior Bowl. And, a lot of people, he's not being talked about as a first-round pick, but a lot of people saying he could be one of those middle-round quarterbacks. What was it like kind of developing that chemistry with him this year?
Pratt's a winner. Pratt is a known winner. Won a lot of games at Tulane. Even the games he lost, he's a dog. So having a vet like that coach me up and get me right definitely set me up later in the year, and then where I am now.
We're talking with Chris Brazzell now at Tennessee. So you decide you're going to hit the portal. You start looking at a couple different schools, and you're making some visits. What was it about the visit to Tennessee? Did you kind of know instantly as soon as you hit campus, like, all right, this is where I want to be?
No, it wasn't an instant type of thing. It was more like just the offense, man. Like, we got a lot of option routes from the outside spot. That wasn't something we had at Tulane. The option routes, the wide splits, the run and gun offense, the tempo, just run and gun. I think that's every receiver dream, really, being able to play in a run and gun offense. So, I mean, a high caliber quarterback like Nico, it was an easy decision.
Let's talk about him, because obviously highly touted quarterback, 5-star, all everything. And, Joe Milton waited his turn behind Hendon Hooker, and he got his chance. And then, end of last year, Joe doesn't play in the bowl game. Nico does. And against one of the best defenses in the country in Iowa to do what he did. What do you like about Nico, and what have you seen out of him so far throughout this spring?
The kid's a gamer. You talk about the Iowa game, first game playing against a team like that, going off, dominating. I mean, that's something special. That tells you a lot about the kid. And throughout spring, he's a young leader. I mean, he's dynamic. Throw the ball, run the ball, act like he's gonna run it, throw it. I mean, the kid's a gamer.
We're talking with Chris Brazzell here over at Tennessee, and you talk about Nico, and what's it like kind of developing chemistry with it? As a wide receiver? Is it, we always hear it's so important to be on the same page with your quarterback, but is there kind of some trial and error there where you kind of try to develop that chemistry, and he knows where you're going to be, where he's going to be, where that ball's going to be? Because I even saw some pictures out of spring practice already where you're making those dive and grabs, and it seems like these are those days you develop that chemistry, right?
Yeah, spring ball and fall camp's definitely important. Gaining trust and chemistry with your quarterback. On my end, I got to make the plays for him to gain that confidence with him. So it's just all about each day just going out there making plays and having him trust me, knowing I'm going to be in the right spot and just gaining that trust.
Continue our conversation with Chris Brazzell here on Locked On SEC, and we talked a little bit about Nico and developing that chemistry. Let's talk about Coach Heupel. What do you like about Josh Heupel? Obviously, an offensive-minded guy who did it himself on the football field as a quarterback, and man, there's no denying from his time at UCF and then at Mizzou. Every stop along the way, he's always had some great offenses. So you had to love that about Coach Heupel right off the bat.
Yeah, with a history like that. And that being your head coach, who wouldn't want to play for a guy like that? So, he's cool, encouraging. I like Coach Heupel.
And then, of course, working hand in hand with Coach Holley, obviously, who helped come in and take over as the OC. You got to kind of work hand in hand with those two guys together. But Coach Holley, how much did he have in the discussions with you about how they're going to use you and that sort of thing?
On my visit, he talked to me about the option routes, man. We got like 3 options every play dang near. Like, you just out there playing football. Like, DB do one thing, you do the opposite. So he was a big factor in that also.
There's another guy I know that was big in your decision. I think you mentioned him already a little earlier, but talk about wide receiver coach Kelsey Pope. I know he's done a really good job there, and I know you had to like what you heard from him coming in, because that's your guy you're going to be working with every day.
Yeah, facts. Jaden Hyatt coached him, award winner. He got a track record of just elite guys and developing them and making them better. So 2022 that happened, him and Jaden Hyatt, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was 2 years ago, a year ago, really. So that was definitely a big factor in that.
Yeah, and they've had some great success. Not even just all the receivers there in the last couple of years have had great success. Your dad played wide receiver at a real high level. We mentioned earlier. Growing up, when did you know you wanted to be a wide receiver? Was it from really young age?
I started playing quarterback at first. I was a quarterback my whole life. 7th grade year, decided to switch. I knew I was gonna switch eventually, but everybody starts off playing the opposite position. So growing up, having my dad in my ear and having NFL training definitely got me where I am now. He is the reason why I'm here where I am now for sure.
I think even late in your high school career, you switched high schools, right? Was that kind of a move was that football motivator at all, or it was just getting a different look?
I always wanted to go to Midland Lee since a young buck, but I also played basketball in a school that previously was a better basketball program than Midland Lee, so it was kind of a toss-up. Yeah.
No doubt. You're a monster on whatever athletic court or field that you're on, obviously, and what you do. For those unfamiliar with your game, give us a little bit of scouting report on yourself. I think what I heard you say was a big receiver who can play like a small receiver. Kind of explain what that means.
Like, I think I'm pretty fast, man. I got real good speed. I can get on my brakes quick. I can run little guy routes. I can run a slant, get up on a slant, run a stop. And then on top of that, I can take the top off the defense. So I think I'm just a good mixture of a good receiver.
It's funny too. You mentioned like typically a lot of people think like, oh, big tall guy, 6'5", 6'6", and you're fast. You're just going to be that deep threat guy, but you can run. I watched a lot of your film at Tulane, and you can run all the different routes and kind of be used in the slot, go on the outside, the X, the Y. Is that kind of how you would assess your game? Is look, wherever you want to put me, and I'm going to excel.
Yeah, that's how I kind of try to difference myself by being able to play the slot and run those type of routes, being able to run the comeback and the trace, not just being a goal guy, a post guy, able to run any route in the playbook.
So let's talk about where Tennessee is right now, because there's a lot of good wide receivers on this team. Bru McCoy, he's coming back from the injury. Squirrel White had an awesome year last year. Donte Thornton came over from Oregon. Chaz Nimrod. How do you see all this shaping up? I know there's only one football, but they're going to do their best to spread this thing around and get you all involved here. But it's a lot of good competition there, right? Right?
Yeah. We're all bettering ourselves right now during spring. Everybody going out there competing. And then I feel like in the game, when you got 6, 7 dogs on the field, it's going to be hard to stop that.
Yeah, and look, they've shown, it doesn't matter. They're going to get everybody involved. It's, it's not just, it's not going to be just one guy. They're going to move that football around. Give me a quick thought on some of the young guys you've seen, some of the, because you're a new guy yourself, but there's some true freshmen coming in here as well. And I know Mike Matthews is a big guy that was highly heralded. What have you seen from him, the young guy, and kind of hitting? Because it's a little transition, right? When you're a high school kid getting to campus for the first time.
Mike actually scored a touchdown first play of our first scrimmage this Saturday, so that's cool. So being a young guy scoring first play, that's real exciting for him. So everybody's developing, getting better. Shout out to Coach Pope helping everybody out. So yeah.
Any of the young guys on the defense? I know Boo Carter, Coach Heupel's already talked about.
Yeah, Boo Carter.
Kalen Beasley, some of those guys are already standing out, right?
Yeah, Boo Carter, he liked that for sure.
It's gonna be fun to see what he does. Let's talk about the number, because right, you're wearing a number 11 right now, but there's a certain number you kind of have in mind, right?
17, yes sir. Shoot, the second I'm able to get that, I'm gonna go get that.
Because Coach Heupel does a little different, right? Like you got to kind of earn your number. You don't just get the number you want.
But yeah, you got to go earn it. So once he feels like I did enough to earn it, I'll be able to go get it.
Let's talk a little bit about some of the other transfers too. It's not just you coming in through the portal. I know Lance Hurd, the big tackle from LSU, has come in, and very highly heralded recruit. A lot of people have high expectations for him, and then a couple tight ends. And Holden Stays is a guy that people are very high on as well. Are you all kind of like the new transfers? You guys kind of like all trying to get your bearings? Say, where's the workout room? Where's this? Where's that?
Yeah,
figure everything out.
We were all scrambling the first week for sure, but I think we all got accustomed, getting comfortable. So we all like it, man.
Who stood out so far of everybody out there? Give me a name or two of guys that you think are going to be poised for big years this year.
I I can't really give you two. Shoot, the receiver room, I can name four. O-line, Big John Campbell, Lance, Cooper Mays. I mean, Nico, defensively, Jamal McCoy, the transfer, holding the tight end. So I mean, we got a lot of guys on this squad.
It's going to be a lot of fun to see what this all looks like when it comes together. And obviously, y'all have the spring game coming up here in a couple weeks. As you look ahead to the schedule, did you look at the schedule at all? Like when you're looking at transferring to school, obviously you want to go football fit and all that, but do you look at the schedule and go, oh man, is this going to be tough? Is this going to be easy? Or does that not even matter?
A big part of me transferring was playing SEC football for sure. So that was a dream come true. I think everybody as a kid watched SEC, Bama, Georgia, Tennessee. So transferring SEC was one guarantee for me.
And not just that, you get some new teams in the conference this year. You get Oklahoma and Tennessee, and man, right out of the gates, your first SEC trip is going to Norman, Oklahoma. You ever been there before?
Nah, but I would have played them at Tulane regardless. So that's how I look at it.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
About that. But yeah, you guys go to Arkansas, you go to Georgia, you go to Vanderbilt. So there's going to be some fun road trips in there. And then you also get the neutral field game against NC State very early on. But you kind of have to like how the schedule, kind of plays out, because you get Chattanooga, you get Kent State, you get some teams that some games that kind of get your legs under you and kind of get this offense flowing before you'll have that big road test at Oklahoma. So you got to kind of like how that sets up.
Yeah, I do.
It's gonna be fun to see when you guys get out there. Talking with Chris Brazzell. When you're not playing football, what are you doing? What's your hobbies, stuff you do in your spare time?
I just be vibing, man. Just be vibing, man.
Are you a TV guy? Netflix, music? What are you doing?
I sit back, watch TV, just catch a vibe. Yeah, yes, sir.
Movie? Are you a movie guy or TV shows? What are we doing?
TV. I'm a TV type of guy. YouTube type of guy. Yeah.
What's the last thing you watched onto a TV show?
I've been watching March Madness, man. That's what I've been watching, March Madness. Anytime I turn my TV on for March Madness right now.
Were you already full aboard with Dalton Connect and the Tennessee basketball team and their run?
Yeah, man, that hurt yesterday, man. I ain't gonna lie, that one hurt, man. Them boys, he be hooping, yeah.
It's a heck of a run that they had, and man, for with Tony Vitello and the baseball team and all the expectations for them, what Coach Barnes just did with the basketball team, you guys have a lot to live up to now. Tennessee athletics kind of on the rise here with a lot of different teams, so expectations raising. So you guys have to go show up and show out. Just give me a little bit of what's your daily grind like here? So I know you had some stuff you had to take care of with school today. So what's this grind kind of been like? Balancing spring ball, balancing schoolwork, getting your bearings in a new place, and all that kind of stuff.
So coming from the American Conference to the SEC is night and day for sure, as far as like mentally preparing, knowing the plays, academics, all that. So right now I'm doing the extra work I can without getting in the way of academics.
Well, you had to be pretty darn smart to get into Tulane, because God knows I couldn't have got in there back in the day. Yeah. So you're doing something right to get everything on the right path. And look, you want to be awesome and great in football and go be a pro NFL guy and all that, but also, hey, nice to have a good degree to fall back onto and have all that kind of stuff taken care of as well. So, sure. Chris, really appreciate the time, man. Thanks so much for joining us, and can't wish you enough best of luck this season, and hope you go kill it. All right.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
All right, we'll be back with more on Locked On SEC right after this.